Hello everybody, it's Paul Neeson with the Raw Life Health Show, and I'm just drinking and driving. This is a coconut, and I'm driving and I'm drinking it, so that's how I drink and drive. If I get pulled over, I could just tell them I'm nuts. You get it? Coconuts. But I'm actually driving now to my friend's house. He has a black sapote tree, also known as the chocolate pudding fruit. Now, I don't eat chocolate because I don't think chocolate is healthy, but I certainly love the chocolate pudding fruit. It's actually a black persimmon, but it looks like chocolate. It doesn't really taste like chocolate. I have two of the trees in my yard, but they're not ripe yet, the fruit on the tree, so I'm going to his house and getting them, and it's just an amazing fruit if you've never had a chance to experience this. And as I drive around, and I got this new camera to drive around and give everybody a little bit more videos, but as I drive around, maybe you could see it in the background, there's a mango tree actually that I'm about to pass. And I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, and we didn't have fruit trees. I mean, there were fig trees that I found, wild fig trees in Brooklyn, and a lot of people don't know about it, but I did find that. But I looked hard. I mean, they had some mulberry trees, fig trees, but there wasn't much. Now I live in a tropical environment, folks. I live in South Florida, West Palm Beach, Florida to be exact. And as I drive, you'll see behind me trees all the time, and my wife always says that I have a certain eye for fruit trees. I don't know, but I just do. And my friend has this tree, which I know, but the common trees that they have here are avocados, and that's a common, and mangoes in the summertime. Star fruit is something I have, and you can look at my other videos and you can see about all the different fruits and vegetables out there. There's actually a website, I think it's more for California, where officially by law, if the fruit is hanging over a fence, you're allowed to take that. And it's called free food or something, where you can just go to people's yards, and if the trees are hanging over, you can borrow some of their fruit. Well, I make sure I ask everybody. As a matter of fact, I don't even have a coconut tree, but I stopped and I saw somebody who had one, so that's how I got this coconut as I'm drinking and driving here. But basically, I choose to live in this tropical environment, but I could tell you, if you're living up north, they have apple trees and persimmon trees. They have more north than here, not necessarily up north, but in the colder regions. But there's just food everywhere. Even if you're living up somewhere north where they don't have fruit trees, many of them have nuts or apples, but in the colder environments. But wild edible herbs. I mean, there's so many different herbs. 90% of the food out here are just wild edible herbs. I mean, you can give me a plate, an empty plate, and without going into the store, I can come back with a salad, because there's so many wild edible herbs out here. And just learning about this and opening this up, I never ate a mango until I was like 20 years old. I never had a grapefruit even until I was 20 years old. An avocado, unless it was in guacamole, I never had an avocado. And it sounds weird if you've been eating those things your whole life, but if you just heard of those things, I mean, you are the norm. Because my sister, my twin sister, I don't think she ever had a mango or an avocado. It's not that crazy, because most people, you know, they're just not like that today. Well, I did have figs when I was younger, and fig Newtons. That's what I had the figs in. But that's just the information is so limited, and you know, people read my books all the time, and at first I seem extreme. Well, first they seem crazy. Then I seem extreme, which I am. I'm crazy and extreme. But then people start to realize, hey, he's not that crazy. And I want to be that extreme, because that's what it's about, folks. About being healthy, living healthy. That's what the raw life is all about. So as I drive here, I mean, it's a little bit more challenge now, because if somebody has a fruit tree, especially during the summertime, there are more, I'll knock on their door and I'll say, can I have some of your fruits or your vegetables on your tree? I see you have a lot. And they don't mind. And another thing we have here in South Florida is a sugarcane juice. I'm actually passing a Cuban bakery that actually has sugarcane juice. Now, how do raw foodists, a raw vegan, find sugarcane juice in a Cuban bakery? What was I doing in a Cuban bakery? Again, I learned and I know that many Spanish Cuban bakeries here in South Florida have sugarcane and sugarcane juice. And when I was in Malaysia looking for durians, I tasted sugarcane juice, and I'm like, wow, that'd be great if they had it back home, and I found it here back home. So, getting back to that, if I'm knocking on somebody's door and asking them for fruit, usually if somebody has a big fruit tree, they're eating it, but they have so much, they'll let me have it. Coconuts are a little different. If somebody has coconuts on their tree, they're not eating it because coconuts don't grow as abundantly as fruits do. And people ask how I cut this open. As you can see, I actually have a machete, and I learned how to use the machete and cut it open. But I did run into a problem because years ago, when I used to knock on somebody's door, they said, "How are you going to get the coconuts?" I said, "I got a machete. It's not a problem." But now, for some reason, when I knock on somebody's door with a machete, which is a big knife, for some reason they don't even open their door. I don't know what it is. I can't seem to put my finger on the issue. Yeah, folks, you know how the stereotypes are today, but I'm going to my friend's house now, and he has several fruit trees, but the black sapote tree is where it's at right now. That's the season for this. If you ever come down to South Florida, there's abundance of fruits and vegetables all over the place. And I just got a catalog from Baker Creek. I was just reading that catalog out of interest to see what seeds I'd want for my garden. And in there, I saw a whole bunch of fruits I never even heard of, which was pretty amazing. So now I got familiar with those, and the next time I see them, I might have even seen many of those fruits, but not have known what they were, or even if they were edible fruits. But now I know because I did some research, and that's all it really comes down to, is doing some research. This complex here, they have some coconut trees in here. I know that for a fact. And where I'm driving right now, there's mango trees during mango season, which is July and August. On the many of these trees have tons of mango trees. Now right here, you can't see it, but I'm passing a cemetery. I hear it's a good one. People are dying to get in. But no, this cemetery, I don't know what's in this cemetery much. I haven't been in here, but there's another cemetery where they have sapodilla trees, which are also called Nisboro, and also known as Chico, and it tastes like brown sugar. Amazing, amazing fruit. One of the common fruits down here in South Florida that you can't find most other places is mamey, or mamey sapote. It's a tropical fruit, and that tree I don't have, but they sell it here very commonly in the stores and the groceries when it's in season in the summertime, which I absolutely love. It's one of my favorite fruits. It's called a mamey. So there's a coconut tree, and you might be looking at this video thinking, man, that guy's amazing. He's just driving around and pointing at all these fruit trees and everything else. And again, as I said, I grew up in New York City and I didn't have all this. And when I first went raw or started to eat healthy, I would go to Prospect Park in Brooklyn, and me and my friend were there. I would climb the tree and start shaking it, and all the mulberries would fall into a sheet. We'd take the sheet home, clean it off, and we had mulberries. I mean, that was the extent to my wild food foraging. My mulberries in Prospect Park, Brooklyn, or my figs at the fig tree in front of the doctor's office in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. But here I am now, just living. I mean, it's the raw food way to go. Now there are a lot of raw foodists moving to Costa Rica and Ecuador and all these other different places, Hawaii and so on. Hawaii is a little bit different, but those other places are wonderful, beautiful, tropical environments, and they're excellent. But the reason I love South Florida, and I consider it the best place for a raw foodist to be. Now, California is great because they have wonderful farmers markets, but there's so much traffic there. By the time you get to those farmers markets, you probably ate something you didn't want to eat because you're so stressed out with all the traffic. South Florida is a little different. It's the fast pace of New York City without the stress of New York City. And it's a tropical environment. Tropical fruit grows here all year round, and right now it's the winter time. I think today it's 75 or 80 degrees, and right now we're in February and it's only 80 degrees, and I'm picking fruit off the trees. People ask me where they should move if they're a raw foodist. You know, South Florida, I got Hippocrates Health Institute, a world-class health spa 5 miles from my house one way. The other way, I got the beach 5 miles from my house, and there's raw food restaurants all over the place now. There's 2 right near my house, and it's just getting better and better. So I came down here years ago. I checked it out. Actually, my friend had me come down to do a lecture, and that's the guy's house I'm going to now. We've become friends, and I'm going there, and I've almost reached my destination. Listen, folks, if you have any comments or questions, post them below the video. And if you want to come visit here in South Florida, I do have a raw food retreat, and sometimes I have rooms available to rent out for people to come down and experience beautiful South Florida. I'll take you around and show you all the amazing stuff they have around here. And let's see, when I turn on this next block, we'll probably be passing some coconut trees. You'll see in the background there's tons of coconuts on there right now. Briefly, I'm counting, there must be at least 30 coconuts on that tree. And it's kind of high up there, so I don't know if you can see it, but there's another coconut tree right over there. If you can see it back there, there was a coconut tree. And all right, everybody, I've reached my destination. All right, I'm on my way to my friend's yard, but check out his house. I mean, are these cool colors or what? Yellow with pink. I mean, this is really, and we're not in Miami in the district here, which the houses are all like this, and light blue. So this guy is, his house is a work of art. All right, here we come into his house right now, and check out his wall. He's just, his fence is like, there's no white picket fence. It's like a mural. It's pretty cool. And here's the tree. There it is. Okay, let me pull back here. All right, there's the tree, everybody, and that's the tree I'm gonna climb. And here they go, the fruits. Check them out. There's so many on there, and I'm just gonna go and get them off there. So there are the fruits. Here's the tree. And all right. All right, everybody, that's the fruit. That's what it looks like, and it's hard. It's like a persimmon. You wouldn't want to eat it like that. But I just picked one off the tree, and it's not necessarily completely ripe because you got to wait till the skin is black. But they do get softer, and then they open up, and that's why they call it a chocolate pudding fruit, as you see on the inside. So it's going to get black, and that's when you know it's ready. When the whole thing's completely black, not brown. So I'm going to pick these all. I already got a bag. I didn't even get on the tree yet, and I already got a bag. So this is exciting. All right, everybody, the mission was successful. I'm in the car now driving back to my house, and I got, this is a black zapote. It's green right now, but on the inside it's black. That's why they call it chocolate pudding fruit. And I got 3 big bags of this. I mean, huge bags of this. And there was a lot more in the tree that I would have gotten, but you know, I'm not going to eat it all that fast, and I'll go back and get that in a couple of weeks. Maybe some of them will be riper. It's not easy to tell when these are ripe. That's why I planted 2 of them around my house, because a lot of people don't know what it is, and it's very hard. You have to let it sit on your counter just like you would a persimmon, and in time it'll get very soft, and this will turn black as well, and the skin is edible, and that's when you know it's ready to eat. And I don't know if you can see it in the mirror here, but the top of this, it's starting to come up. That's when you know they're actually ripe, and when they come off the tree, very easy. They have a smell, but not really a sweet smell. But this is a medium-sized one, actually. Some are a lot bigger, some are smaller. When I get out of the car, I'll just show you the camera and show you how many I actually picked, and we'll see. I just passed a longan tree that one of my neighbors has in his yard. I actually put one in my yard just recently, this year, last year, so we'll see what happens next year on that. And now I'm pulling into my wonderful tropical paradise, my very simple small paradise. Okay, and I'll show you in a second here the video on the video of all the bags that I got. All right, everybody, here's the back of my car, and here is one huge bag. I mean, there must be over maybe 40 to 50 in this bag alone. Then there's a bag here, Target, yes, and maybe there's 30 in there. And then there's this bag. This bag has to have 50 or 60. So over 100 and 120 black chocolate pudding fruits. It's a good day. And easily, one of these, if you could even find them in the store, probably sell for $5 or so. Easily, a lot of money here. I could sell them and make money, but I'm not going to. It's for me and my family. As for me and my family, we shall eat black zapotes. All right, everybody, have a great day.
And here's this black zapote. So look at the end of it. And look, it's all green there, and then...
All right, everybody, here's all the black zapote, and we can see them all here. We cleaned them off, and we just put them on a table to ripen. What'd you say, Noah?
That little baby one. See, everybody?
That's a smaller one, and let us see the bigger ones. What's the biggest one we have there, Noah? Wow, that's a big one. Wow, that's a big one, too. Noah, do you love black zapote?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the daddy. This is the daddy. This is the baby. This is the mommy. This is the big sister. And this is the big sister. And these are the little babies. And
Wow,
and these are little babies.
So there's a big family right there, right? And we're gonna eat them, right? Yeah. But we have to wait till they're ripe.
So everybody, this is Paul Neeson with the Raw Life Health Show saying thanks for checking us out. Have a great day and a great raw life.
I love raw food and I love black pudding.